gonna share with you the painting of this butterfly on a pour that was not as good, to leave it as it was. So I'm adding what is called an enhancement to this pour, and I'm gonna show you what we do first. This is the pattern that has been copied into a vellum paper. Now I'm gonna put a piece of graphite paper and I'm gonna put it underneath in here, and with a stylus I'm gonna press in here and make sure that I have the pattern transferred to my piece. So after you do this, I'm gonna take this out of here. And I see the pattern in there. So I'm going to paint the black areas with black, and the blue areas I'm gonna base coat with Laguna. So Laguna is going to be on the blue areas inside, and the outline that it has with black and the body of the butterfly plus the antenna are gonna be painted with black. And when we return, I'm going to show you how to shade and highlight. So the reason I put it in there, the butterfly, it was because I really like this area of the design and all those cells in there, and I really like the colorful, how colorful it is in here. So there was a bare area in there, so I wanted to put it in there without covering this in here. So if you're new in painting, this is what it's called palette paper. It's a wax paper, and this is where you put your paints. You see, like this, and where you do your floatings. If you do not know how to float, you can watch one of my videos on floating. So I am base coating the blue area with the Laguna color. I don't think I want to have opaque coverage, because in my opinion, all that is showing through the paint, it might give character to the design. So I'm just going to put very thin coat of this Laguna, and maybe I need to put a tiny bit more on this blue area so that it doesn't show as blue. I want it to show more as turquoise. And I'm gonna do that on both sides, and I will be right back. Now it has only one coat of that Laguna color, and this is ocean blue. I'm gonna take ocean blue, and I'm going to start putting that color and blend it with this Laguna in here. Let's go to the Laguna. See, I am blending it as I put it in there, wet on wet. So this is not, this is a method of wet on wet blending. You can do it this way, or you can do a float. Let's go now to the Laguna and blend those colors in there. If you have too much paint, you wipe it, and then it will be easier to blend it. One, two, put it in here, the blue, and I'm gonna have some of that ocean blue also on these edges. And And later on I'm going to highlight the see, this is a second application of color, and this is the ocean blue. Now I'm gonna go to the Laguna and blend in there. That's gonna be the final application of the second coat, except for that I'm missing some sections in here with the blue, ocean blue. Okay, let's go to the other side, and it's gonna be done exactly the same. Start with the ocean blue on the bottom part. Go to the Laguna. We could have saved probably another stage if we add the white and started highlighting. I'm just gonna put it in my palette and start doing that with the white. So let's see, so that's too light, so I'm gonna go to the Laguna. So Laguna plus white. Let's go to the Laguna alone and blend those edges. Following the movement of that, we will still do more. This is the blue that goes down there, the ocean blue, and the Laguna plus the white. Oops. Okay, so the blue plus the Laguna. Okay, let's go to the other side. Still want to put more shadings and highlights, but this is a base coat. This is what we call a base coat. So this is the ocean blue. The Laguna. the ocean blue, oops, the Laguna, let's clean this brush and put just the Laguna plus the white. Oops, have too much on the brush. I'm just gonna wipe it so it has less. The Laguna alone. Okay, so Laguna. And the blue, ocean blue. So Laguna. Now that we are going to still do more in here, the more you do, the more realistic it's going to look. So the outside edge is going to be base coated with burnt umber instead of black, because I'm going to shade it with black. So I need to have a lighter color so that I can shade it. So I'm going to use burnt umber in here. And I don't need to be on camera for that. I will be returning. By the way, the brushes that I'm using are Dynasty Black Gold by Dynasty. This is 206 CV. I love that those for my wet on wet blending. This one is also 206 CV. For base coating, you can also use the one that is 206S. I'm gonna use this one. Let's see. I'm using size 6, 8, and 1. Before I cover these, look at how pretty. They look like water drops. Those two sections in there that I have to cover with paint. Sad, huh? Okay, so I am darkening the brown section. This is the second coat. Let's do a third coat on the body. Let's put also the head. But I need a smaller brush for that head. The section in here is very light, so I'm just gonna put one coat probably there. Very light coat. Thing with base coating is that you have to have several coats until you have opaque coverage, because colors are transparent, most of them. Need several coats. Then we can highlight and shade. Okay, so I'm gonna put a final coat and I'm gonna let it dry. In order to do line work, you have to have some water in the brush, and we're going to line the antennas. At the end, it has like a tip. Okay, so do that and we'll be right back. So I added the head with black, and now I have black plus a tiny bit of that burnt umber. Let's put a tiny bit of this dark color in here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna shade a tiny bit with the black, and I'm going to do a small float. And this is not a brush that has too much water, so we may have to put water. Yeah, it's thirsty. If the brush is thirsty, you have to go back into the water, wet it, and remove the excess water, and then you can do the float in there. Now it has more water. Okay, so I am going to do this in here. From this section in there down. Underneath that area in there. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. There. Now, cleaning the brush and floating again. Pinching my brush. And then going into the paint. A tiny bit on the paint and on a side of your wax paper. And I'm going to float underneath the head, in the middle, like that. On this side. That was too much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put like a line like that. Sometimes I've used my fingers. Okay, I'm gonna put a line also on the other side. And you see my fingers again. Why not? This section has some black, but it has, let's put the black in there, but it also has the brown. And black, it has some black, and it also has the brown. Let's find some of the brown. Put the brown in there. Let's bring the white and put it on those two sections. And I'm gonna put white in there. Let's see, let's put that white. Okay, this is Bahama Blue, which is the color that we're gonna use to highlight. And I'm gonna show you a different method of highlighting. We're gonna dry brush some of this lighter color. Let me open and I will be right back. And look how pretty is this color. And we are gonna put some of that color with a liner in here. And then the white on top. Blending the white in there. We'll do the same in the other side. Let's put the white on top. The black again. I'm gonna put the black again in here. Black has to go all the way on the outside edge. Okay? On both sides. Then we can put the white again. Strong white. Okay, there's gonna be more white spots, but let's highlight. And I'm gonna find a paper towel, and we are going to use let's use this one. This is Dome Round. There are many different brands. This one is Laura Cornell, and there are many sizes. They're called Dome, D-O-M-E Round. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna the brush is dry. I'm gonna wet it because it's better for the brush if you wet it. I wet it, but I removed the excess water. And now I'm gonna go into the paint. This is called dry brushing. I'm gonna go into the paint and I'm gonna remove all the excess paint in this paper towel. And then I'm gonna dry brush this color in here. If you have like that, probably the color that we needed. I'm gonna go again into the paint and remove it. Let's go again. And I'm doing this color first, and then I'm gonna put white. That's better. We want contrast. So that's better. I want to have lots of contrast. I always tell my students that I love contrast because I like drama. Even if I don't see the drama in the photo, if I'm using a photo, I like to create it because that is me. Okay, that's my way of painting. And now I'm going to create more drama by going to an extra. Even though this is the color that I see on the photograph, it's not me because I like to create drama. So I'm going to mix the white with the dirty brush and create more drama. Perhaps it doesn't have to be highlighted everywhere with the white. Going with the white but in the same area that I have the blue. And let's put a tiny bit in here. And I believe I have to blend that a tiny bit with the blue. Maybe not. Okay, so put in the first blue. It's called the Bahama Blue. Okay, so I think I have enough of highlights. Now I do want to darken the blue, and you know, these butterflies, sometimes they have some luster to them, some metallic to them. So I'm using a larger brush. This size is number 12, and I'm gonna try to use this color Sapphire to see how it looks. Gonna put this gorgeous color on my palette. And I'm going to put it on the top and bottom. Let's see, I'm doing a float. Look how gorgeous is that color. Wow. Let's see how it's going to look on my butterfly. And I am putting it, oopsie daisy. Okay. Gonna put it in here. Seeing that it had some white in there. Let me clean it. There was some white on my brush from a previous but see what I did? I With the wetness of the brush, I blended it in there. I'm gonna put it on the other side. But I have to put it several times, this color. Metallic colors, they don't behave the same as the other colors. They're more liquid. I don't know how to say that properties are different. But I'm gonna put a tiny bit underneath. Clean it and go again. I think I am going to also put more sparkle on this butterfly. Just to, you know, you have fun, you do whatever you want. I'm going to, you see that lining here? I am going to bring that color in here like this. I don't know if that was good. Let's do the same. It's got it. It's wet, so it doesn't work that good when it's wet because you're touching the other one. But let's do it on the other side too. You see, like that. Let's see. We have to put the other lines inside, and that will help. Let's let it dry. I'm gonna go one more time and highlight one more time. Starting with the Bahama Blue. Okay, let's go to the white on top of the Bahama Blue. It's time. Left areas of white. That's probably too strong. I didn't remove too well the... That's okay, I like drama. I like drama a lot. I'm gonna put lines. Remember that we're gonna put lines. Again, I'm gonna go again with that metallic color. Okay, let's let it dry before we put in more color on that blue, and in the meantime let's work on the black. I'm gonna take some black and I'm going to lower the black like that, skipping a section, adding another one. Okay, let's do the same on the other side. I'm starting with the lower section, which is darker, and the paint starts fading on the top. I'm not trying to be exactly like the photo because you will lose all the fun. You know, if it has to be so difficult that you have to be exactly like the photo. No way, we're in here to have fun. So I'm gonna take that burnt umber. I'm gonna take the burnt umber and I'm gonna add a tiny bit of white. And I'm gonna make a lighter color. And I'm out of white, so let me put some more white on my palette. So burnt umber plus white on a very small brush. This is a size 1 brush, 206S, size 1, 206S. And I am mixing those two colors, and I am gonna fill in these sections in here. Okay, and then with that same color I am going to highlight a tiny bit. Will probably have to be dry brush. Let me find a tiny dry brushing. This thumb round is called Bringle Blender and it's Betty Bird. So, and this is a size 2 of Betty Bird. So any size that you can find. And I am adding the burnt umber, mixing it with the white and making a lighter color. And since we are dry brushing, we have to remove the coloring here. Let's go back to the colors because I hardly have any. So remove the coloring here. And we are going to dry brush some sections in here. I need to put more of the white. Tiny bit more of the brown. Let's put a thing in here. White on a liner with white. I've not put the lines in the inside because I'm trying to wait until it dries. Let's do on the other side. Wait, there's one more in here. I have to wait for it to dry a lot. Here. That's probably, they're probably too close to each other. We want to take the fun. We don't want to take the fun, but we want to make it pretty, right? I don't want to put it exactly where they were with the pattern because this has to be fun. If it's too difficult, it's not fun anymore. So now we are going to add more of the white on the outside edge. It may not be the same butterfly, but it doesn't have to be the same butterfly. Not the same butterfly, it is my butterfly. The one I cut. Oops, that was probably too much paint. Let's do it with a bigger one. Okay, so continue with the white. Let's see, we have to have two strong ones in here. And in here. Okay, so we're almost done. And we're gonna put the burnt umber plus white again and put some lighter dots. See, there are not instructions for this. I am just inventing. So, and you invent, play with your butterfly, do whatever you please. That same color. Gonna do it in here. Tiny bit more with the white. That color plus a tiny bit more white. Okay, what I'm gonna do, that same color, then let's put some of this in here. And in here. I have to put some in here. I need to dry this with a dryer, hair dryer, because it is still wet and I want to finish it. So I'm gonna do that and I will be right back. Stay tuned. So before I put the patterns, I want to highlight one more time, but this time only with the, I'm gonna use the smaller brush and I'm gonna use white alone. And another thing that I wanted to tell you, I'm just going to do it on, I have to find clean white. I wanted to tell you that I want to add some of the coral that it has, the background has on the butterfly, just for fun. I am putting the white very strong in here. Very, very strong. And also want to also put a darker color. Let's see, I'm gonna try this ultramarine blue to see if it helps. I want to create this area darker, and I'm gonna make a float. I'm gonna use this large brush, number 18. You don't have to use this many brushes, whatever brushes you have. Let's see, I'm gonna put it in here. In there, I'm gonna put it on the other side too. Kind of walking the float. Okay, maybe a tiny bit in here. And on the other side. Okay, let's put a tiny bit on this side, not too much. To the white. I don't know why I'm not satisfied with the highlights, and I'm gonna put it straight. And when it's not like that in the photo. I want lots of drama. Okay, let's bring that coral color. I'll be right back. So coral shell, I'm gonna use a liner, and I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna mix a tiny bit of the Scarlet with that coral shell. Make it darker. Could not find the color that I needed, so I'm mixing with what I have. Put Scarlet, mix a tiny bit of the burnt umber with the Scarlet. It's more like it. put some of the body in here. Tinting that section there with that color. Let's add that color, that orangey color also on this side. Okay, so the dark brown and a tiny bit of the black, the burnt umber and a tiny bit of the black. Let's put some cast shadow below this butterfly. Okay, we have to invent the colors. I'm gonna take a tiny bit of black with the white, and I'm gonna also take some of the blue. Let's take whatever blue I have left in here. I don't have any. Oh, they're all dry. So I'm gonna take a tiny bit of the Bahama Blue and add it to my white, white plus black. I'm making a blue. Let's see, a blue grayish color. That's probably a good color. Okay, so white, a tiny bit of black, white, and blue. That's a dark gray color. That's probably too dark. I'm adding everything that is in there because I want it to be a gray bluish color. I think that's a good color for my cast shadow. Cleaning my palette knife, and let's take this, wet it and pinch it. Follow my video if you don't know how to do it. That's probably about a tiny bit darker than this color in here. So I'm doing a float. Loading my brush with that gray color, and I think I'm gonna put it in here. I don't want it to go over my butterfly, but somehow it went over my butterfly. Then probably have to put it a tiny bit darker. So I'm gonna wait until that dries, and then I can put darker. But what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go and dry it, and then I can put darker there, and I can also put the lines. So I traced the lines, and I am gonna do this outside of camera. I'm gonna show you only a few because it's gonna I want to see them closer. When you do line work, you have to see the closer. I don't want to put my head on the camera, but I'm gonna show you. And remember to put some more water in your brush. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to outline every single line that I added in there like that, and then your project is gonna be done. Okay, so I am going to do this outside of camera, and I will be right back. Okay, here it is. Let's see. One more small thing I want to do before I put the dark shadow in there with black. I do want to put a tiny bit of black underneath in here. Black float. And let's see, don't think it needs any more highlights or shadings except for the shading down here with black, sheer black. Let's see, so the shading in there with black. Somehow there. This has pretty medium, and somehow it doesn't take too well in there, but I suppose a tiny bit darker in there with the black. Looking at the design, I thank you for joining me one more time for one more class. Please watch my other videos. There are lots and lots of classes. This is a tiny bit of the coral plus the white. Just gonna highlight in here. So don't forget to watch other videos. And if you want to learn about acrylic pouring, visit my channel, Online Painting School. Want to put a tiny bit of the dark in there. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.